but I have been able to retrain as a landscape designer, designing gardens instead of houses. It's great being outside so much because the weather's nearly always good. I also have a lot of job satisfaction now. Because I have relatives here, it wasn't too difficult to get a visa. In fact, Melbourne is the biggest Greek city in the world outside of Greece.
Do you think you'll stay as long as Dermot has?
Probably. I really like it here.
3.
And what about you, Joachim? You're currently working in Luanda, Angola, aren't you? Do you think you'll stay there?
Well, the job is just temporary, for 4 months. But now I'm here, I think I'll stay a lot longer. The working conditions are much better at the moment than in Lisbon, where I'm from. I get sick pay and holiday pay and plenty of time off. My salary is a lot higher as well, although Luanda is a very expensive city these days. In fact, it's now supposed to be the most expensive city in the world. There's plenty of work though, both skilled and unskilled. Angola has one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
Okay guys, so as you had a chance to say, we got 3 different people talking. So talking about the first question, let's see if we can answer the first questions, which is which countries did each speaker move to and from? So what about the first character, who is Dermot? Do you guys know that? Like, where is he coming from and where did he go to?
Sure. I think that he is in Manila. But
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
he is in Manila.
Yes, so yes, the country of destination was Manila in the case of Dermot. And what was which is the Philippines. And what's the country of origin of him?
If I'm not mistaken, is England?
England.
Oh, it's Ireland.
Ireland, yes, that's true. Yes, he comes from Ireland and he went to the Philippines. Nice. What about Maria?
Australia.
Is she from Australia or did she go to Australia?
She go to Australia.
She went to Australia, right? Yes, she
Sure,
went to Australia. Yeah.
It was confused because I heard about Melbourne and Greece at the end of the part. Something about Greece.
That's true. That's true. But so in that case, as we know that she went to Australia, well, and also based on her accent, we know that she is from Greece. So she comes from Greece and she went to Australia. That's the case. And the last one, Joachim, where did he go to?
Angola.
He went to Angola, Luanda in Angola. He went to Angola, and he comes from, do you guys know that?
I'm not sure, but I listen in the audio Uganda, but I'm not sure, teacher.
What audio did you listen to? No. So he went to Luanda, which is in Angola, and he comes from another country, right? But I think we are not very sure about that. Okay, guys, so we're gonna listen to the audio one last time. And this time we need to find the answer to the to the country of origin of Joachim. That's one thing. But also this time we're going to pay special attention to the reasons why they went to these other countries. Okay, this time we're gonna focus a little bit more on why they went to those countries. Let's do that. And I think I'll make little pauses after each one of the audios, so we can answer better. Oh, come on.
Audio 7.1.
1.
For many years, people have moved to Europe in search of a brighter future and a higher standard of living. In recent years, however, the pattern seems to be changing, with thousands of young people moving from Europe to Africa, Asia, and South America. We spoke to 3 people who have made the move to find out why they moved and how it has worked out for them. Dermot, you're from Ireland, aren't you? But you live and work in the Philippines.
Yes, that's right. I came to the Philippines in 2005 for a job in property, selling office buildings. At that time, Ireland was doing really well economically, and a lot of people couldn't understand why I was going abroad. It was a fantastic opportunity for me, though, as I was quickly promoted to manager when I'd just been a salesperson back in Ireland. The job also came with rent-free accommodation in a beautiful apartment, and everyone was so friendly. And after 2 years, I became a director, so my career prospects have definitely been improved by coming to Manila. I didn't work such long hours in Ireland, it's true, but I didn't get the benefits I have now, like private medical care and great training. And the weather is a lot better.
2.
Okay, guys, so what are some of the reasons why they give, that Dermot gives for moving to this other country? Guys.
In Ireland, he had no benefits. Benefits.
Yes, that's somehow the best reason. He says that that the economic conditions in Ireland were good back then, but the benefits that he got when he went to the Philippines were really good. He received several benefits, so so that was one of the reasons that the working conditions in the Philippines, in this case, were especially good. That's the most important reason. But he also mentions another one by the end.
The weather?
There you go. Very good. Yes, it was all about the weather also. So he says that the weather there is way better. So that's also another reason why he likes it. So yes, that's essentially it. Let's listen to the next one.
Certainly sounds like a very positive move. That certainly sounds like a very positive move. And Maria, what about you?
Well, I'm a qualified architect with a master's degree. But when I was made redundant in Athens, I just couldn't find another job. I used to spend all day ringing people up and getting nowhere. I'd been unemployed for over a year when I decided to try Australia. I still haven't been able to find work as an architect in Melbourne, but I have been able to retrain as a landscape designer, designing gardens instead of houses. It's great being outside so much because the weather's nearly always good. I also have a lot of job satisfaction now. Because I have relatives here, it wasn't too difficult to get a visa. In fact, Melbourne is the biggest Greek city in the world outside of Greece.
Do you think you'll stay as long as Dermot has?
Probably. I really like it here.
3.
Okay, guys. So what were the reasons she gave for moving?
I think that was to get more like opportunities.
Certainly yes, but the thing is that if you guys listen at the beginning, she says that she was unemployed for nearly a year, so almost a year without a job when she was in Greece. So basically, as she couldn't find a job, she decided to go to Melbourne, right? Just, well, to find a job. And then she went to Melbourne, and she couldn't find a job as an architect. I mean, exactly what she used to do, but she had the chance to retrain So that's another reason. She had a chance to retrain, so to study more, right? And she learned to, she became also a landscape designer. So in this case, like designing gardens and stuff like that. And also she mentions that Melbourne it's a city that has a very big Greek community, and she's got some relatives there. So that's essentially the whole thing. Okay, and let's listen to the last one. Remember that in the case of this last one, we didn't know what was the country of origin, so we need to pay also attention to that.
And what about you, Joaquim? You're currently working in Luanda, Angola, aren't you? Do you think you'll stay there?
Well, the job is just temporary, for 4 months. But now I'm here, I think I'll stay a lot longer. The working conditions are much better at the moment than in Lisbon, where I'm from. I get sick pay and holiday pay and plenty of time off. My salary is a lot higher as well, although Luanda is a very expensive city these days. In fact, it's now supposed to be the most expensive city in the world. There's plenty of work though, both skilled and unskilled. Angola has one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
Okay, guys. So what was the answer to the two questions, guys? What was his country of origin?
It's Lisbon.
Lisbon. So if the city is Lisbon, the country is, we know, Portugal. There you go. And what were the reasons he gave for moving?
I think that because even if the salary was good, the city was really expensive to live.
Well, that's in the case of Luanda, actually.
Yes.
It's that he says that Luanda is a very expensive city, not Lisbon. But basically, he says that also he says that Angola has one of the fastest growing economies, so the conditions there were good. So that's why he decided to travel. So there you go. So guys, as we said that we are going to focus a little bit more on the grammar. We know that the grammar of this lesson is the difference between the use of used to and would. But give me one sec. My computer is a little bit slow. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Wow. It's super slow, which is not normal. So here, guys, in the exercise 7, we have a statement. We have a statement of what about one of the speakers, as you can see here. So, as you can see, the statement goes like this. Dermot used to work in Ireland. He would spend a lot less time at work. Okay, so the questions are a little bit confusing. It says, was this true in the past? Is it true now? How do we know? These are the questions, right? So what I'd like you guys to do is to focus on this, to read the sentence, and we won't do it with partners. We're gonna do it individually. I'll give you around 3 minutes, more or less, just to read this statement that we have here, okay? And then we're going to try to answer these 3 questions here. So read the statement and try to answer these questions. I'll give you a couple of minutes, and then we're going to discuss exactly how that works, okay? So let's read it for a couple of minutes and try to answer that. Okay, guys. So once, as you read these two sentences, based on that, guys, was that true in the past? That action that they described, or that situation better, which is described in that statement, is it something which is true in the past, or is it still true today? What do you understand from from that sentence, guys? Like based on that structure.
Well, I consider that it's like the action or the that it was in the past, but that's it. I mean, here in the present is completely different. It's something very
Okay.
something that changed. You know, it's
Okay.
like it changed
Okay.
my
Yes. Okay. I understand your point. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Somebody else, guys? Is there anybody else who wants to say something about that?
Teacher, well, that is confused, but I think that, yeah, that was true in the past because we used to. And he would, I think that is true now because, well, both are used to talk in the past and talk in the, like, in the present. So I,
Okay. Okay. So yes, the point here is that we are using two different structures and they are used for different purposes. So we're gonna have a look at the grammar focus here in a moment. So we'll see exactly how that works. So guys, okay guys, so here's the grammar focus, as I said. So as we can see, we said we use used to and would also for past habits and states. So in the case of used to or didn't used to, as you guys said, it's to talk about something which was true in the past, basically. Okay, so that's something that you guys just mentioned. So we used to or didn't used to talk about something which was true in the past, or also finished habits and states. So things that were true but are not now. So that was a good example here. If they say Dermot used to work in Ireland, so that's something which was true in the past. Okay, so that was the case of him in the past, but now he's not in Ireland. So every time we use used to or didn't used to, we use it to talk about states of the past which are not true now. So for example, if I say I used to work at Universidad Nacional. So that's something that happened once, but it's not true now. I don't work there anymore. You see, so that's how we use used to. So that's very clear, right? This is similar to the structure in Spanish, solía, right? So like yo solía trabajar allá. So that's pretty much the kind of a structure. In the case of would, we use would to talk about finished habits and typical past behavior. So the point here is that um, the difference is not that obvious at the beginning, right? So both expressions are very similar. So that's one thing. And also, the thing is that normally when we use would, we think about the future, right? So we say, I would help you, I would go. So we use would a lot or mostly to talk about things which are possible in the future or things that we perhaps have the intention to do in the future. But as you can see here, we can also use would to talk about the past, you see? So this is very interesting to say. We also, I mean, we can use would to talk about the future or the past. You see, so we use it for future to talk when we are talking about conditions. So I say, I would help you if I could, right? Como te ayudaría si pudiera. I would help you if I could. So that's a condition for the future, right? But as you can see here, we can also use it to talk about the past. So, which is the case here. So they say, he would spend a lot less time at work. So they are talking about a behavior. So as you can see, we can use would to talk about Finnish habits, and typical past behavior, to talk about things which were typical or common in the past. So I'm trying to think about a way in Spanish to say that. I'm trying to come out with a different example. For instance, we say, like, let's say I'm telling you a story, and then like I say something like yeah, this guy Fernando, he was so lazy, he didn't like to do anything. He would spend the whole week just playing Xbox and eating and eating in his sofa. You see, so he would spend a lot of time, or he would spend the whole week playing Xbox. So that he would expend is like when we in Spanish we say, for instance, if I say the same thing, I would say, este tipo Fernando era muy perezoso, él se la pasaba, ¿ah? Él se la pasaba, así lo decimos en español colombiano, like he would spend, él se la pasaba jugando, you see? So it's an expression which is used to talk about the past. So also, it's important to see, as they say here, that we don't use would to talk about past states. So if we want to say that somebody, that there is something which was true in the past, but it isn't now, we use used to. So we cannot use would in the cases we use used to. So for instance, in this, as it's this case, they say Dermot used to live in Ireland, right? Because it was true in the past. Now it's not true. We cannot say Dermot would live in Ireland. No, because that's a state, that's not a behavior, you see? And used to, and didn't used to, is only for past habits. For present habits, we use the present simple, right? So as they say, for instance, he used to live in Ireland in the past, and it would talk about the present. He lives in Ireland, you see? So it's just like that. It's simpler. Okay, guys. So what I'd like you to do now is to classify these 4 different sentences here in the grammar focus as according to the cases which are presented. Okay, so I would like you just to classify these 4 sentences here. So I'll give you like 3 to 4 minutes more or less to get for you guys to do it individually, and then we're gonna correct. And if you have questions about this topic, please just let me know. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, guys, so let's try to classify the sentences there. So here, in the example of we used to or didn't used to for finished habits. Well, which ones are the cases here?
Teacher.
Dermot didn't used to be.
There you go. Dermot didn't used to be a manager. So in this case, we are talking about something which was true in the past. So he didn't have that job back then, right? And the other example is,
Okay.
Joaquin
Used to live.
used to live.
there you go. Joaquim used to live in Lisbon. So as you can see, this is very clear, very obvious, something which was true in the past, and that's it. And here, we can also use would to talk about finished habits and typical past behavior. So the use of would to. Would. What's the one there?
Maria. Maria will spend all
Yeah.
day calling.
Calling people and getting nowhere. You see?
Yes.
So this is, once again, this is not a state, this is a behavior. Do you see the difference? So when we talk about states, it's something which was true in the past in that case, and it's not a behavior, it was a state, once again. But in this case, they are talking about an action, an activity that she would do. You see? So that's why we can do that, we can use that structure. Okay, there you go. And the last one, which says we use would to talk about past states, only blah, 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 and you used to and didn't used to is only for past habits. For present, we just use this present simple. In that case, is C, right? Maria designs gardens when we're talking about the present, so it's very simple in that case. Okay, guys, so we're going to do this as the last exercise. So I'll give you around 5 minutes to do this. We're gonna do it very quickly in the breakout rooms. So we're gonna make groups right now. And I'd like you guys to please work on these exercises in the exercise 9A. So basically, what you have to do, it's to complete the sentences using used to or would. Okay, that's what you have to do. So we're gonna go to the breakout rooms in this moment, and that's it.
Teacher, could you please tell me what is the page of the exercise?
Yes, it's the page number 67.
Thank you.
It's the exercise 9A. Okay, so let's go, guys. We got 5 minutes for that, and then we finish. Okay, guys, let's answer now the exercise. So here we go. So guys, let's start with the first one. So the first one, guys, who would like to, well, who would know? I'm gonna choose the person. So I'd like to listen to Dylan with the sentence number 1. What was the, how did you guys did it? Dylan?
We put, I would like staying up very late, but now I am bed by 10 p.m. every night.
I would like staying up very late. Okay, okay. So in this case, but now as you can see, they are talking about something which was a state in the past, I would say. So this is something that was true in the past, but it's not true in the present. So I think in this case, the right answer should be I used. to like staying up very late because it's something that was true in the past, but now is not true. So I think it's better to say I used to. I used to like, you see, because it's something that was a state in the past. I would say, in my opinion, that's my answer. And well, and that's actually also the answer which is suggested in the book in that case. So just for us to keep in mind. Let's continue with the number 2. Okay, so for the number 2, I'd like to listen to Estefania. Estefania Portugués. Number 2, please.
I used to.
Uh-huh. So would you please read the whole sentence? I'm sorry.
When I was a teenager, I used to play a lot of sport, but now I just watch them on TV.
Okay, so yes, I also would say it's used to, because if I say I would play a lot of a sport, although if you use would in this case, it would be acceptable, but used is also nice. So we can use both used to and would. I would like you staying upper. The thing is that, yeah, the difference is very, very um, little, the use of both expressions. So that also happens in the case of the sentence number 1. So I understand why Dylan suggested a would in that case. But in this case, in the second one, we definitely can use used to and would. Thank you, Sofania. Number 3. So for number 3, I would like to listen to John. John Gonzalez, number 3.
Well, teacher, I think that is used to. I used to have very long hair when I was
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yes, this is a very good example of a state in the past. You see, because this is not clear a behavior or a typical behavior, but in this case, it's something that was true in the past and that's it. So I used to have very long hair. That's the only option which is possible. Now, number 4. Number 4, perhaps, Johannet, would you help us with that one?
Yeah. 4. Yes.
Yes.
Yep. I would get very nervous before examination when I was at university.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely possible as we are talking about behavior, right? A typical behavior in the past. So I think would works very well here. But also we could use used to, since this is something which is clear true in the past, but it's perhaps it's not now. So if you say, I used to get very nervous before examinations when I was at the university, it means that that's something that used to happen back then, but now it's not something that happens to this person. So both options are somehow acceptable. Number 5, I'd like to listen this time to Ashley. Would you help us with number 5?
When I was a child, I used to spend hours making model cars and planes.
Yeah. So once again, guys, as you can see in this case, we can use both used to and would. So if we use would, it means that we are talking just about a behavior, something this person liked to do before. But if we use used to, we use would. And if we use used to, what we say in that case, that's something that this person used to do in the past, but now he or she doesn't do that. So both options could be acceptable in that case. Thank you, Ashley. And now, finally, number 6, Ana Maria, please. Ana Maria, buen día.
Yes, teacher. I used to think life would be easy when I become an adult, but that's not true at all.
Yeah, there you go. So first of all, I think this is true for all of us. And yes, it has to be used to, because this is something that it's clear that this person used to think in the past, but now it's different. So that's why we use used to. Okay, guys, so that's basically it. As usual, remember that the book has this grammar reference at the end. So if you want to go deeper into the topic, and perhaps if you have any doubt or something, you can check the grammar reference, which is in page 148. So you can see more examples and exercises on this particular topic. So guys, I'd like to know if you have any question or any comment about this. No?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, mister. Yeah, please.
We can use just use and not use to. For example, I use like or we have
No.
to need.
No, because in that case, in that case, the structure of the sentence itself changes completely. So if you use just use, in that case, the meaning of the verb changes. So for example, if I say, first of all, the meaning of the verb changes, and also the structure would be incorrect. So if you say, for example, just with used, so I used the computer, right? So the direct complement should be an object in that case. I used the computer, I used the chair, but we cannot put a verb. So if we say I used walking or I use walk, it makes no sense. So the two is what allows you to connect the verb with another verb, and that's how we create a verb phrase. Remember, los sintagmas verbales. So it's like we create an expression with these two different words. So it's not possible. Always you need to use to. If you don't use to, you wouldn't be using the structure. That would be something completely different. It wouldn't make any sense. Okay. So guys, that's basically it. So as we proposed and suggested yesterday, we are going to close this thing here. Give me 1 second. So now we're going to watch the videos, if that's okay with you. We're gonna watch the videos now. And well, what I'd like you guys to do is very simple. So I will be opening the videos myself. So I will play them in my computer. So we don't have any problem with audio or anything. So what we're gonna do is just to watch each one of the videos, and we can make some comments about them. Okay. So I might also make some questions, and you guys could make any comment about it, and that's it. Okay. So I'm going to play the videos one by one. So give me 1 second. I will share my screen now. So we will watch the videos in the order they are presented in the platform. So the first video we're gonna watch was made by Ana Maria and Andres Felipe. They are the first stars to present today. Okay, so guys, I'd like to know if you want to make any comment or you want to say something before we present the video, guys.
Yes,
No?
teacher. Well, I want to say something that
Yes.
was interesting to do that video, but was really hard because of the of the pandemic. So we have that was not the same. Was good, but was like a little bit sad because here at home, so it's not different. It's like I mean it's different, but yeah, do the video is like amazing.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if Ana Maria wants to say something.
Yeah, Ana Maria?
No, teacher.
No?
I'm nervous. Sorry.
Okay, so let's. You know what, guys? Something I've seen about the videos and everything is that as we don't really have any sort of contact, and in most of the cases, we are not seeing each other. These kinds of activities give us like that possibility to have certain level of contact because we finally can see the other people talking and everything. So I believe it's very interesting. So let's see, let's watch the first video. I think we have like 8 videos, so we have enough time to watch them all. So let's do that.
Hello, what we are going to do today is that we are going to explain some of the techniques and strategies that will be helpful for us in order to improve our pronunciation and our intonation. My name is Andres Felipe Bueno, and
hello, my name is Ana Maria. Now, sometimes we have some problems pronouncing these words, and could be a problem when we speak in English.
It always happen with me. I don't know how to pronounce those words. Maybe is Island, maybe is refrigerator, maybe is scissors, maybe vocabulary, or maybe theatre. I think that is the correct pronunciation, but I don't know.
Island, refrigerator, scissors, vocabulary, theta.
First of all, what we have to take into account is that intonation is how native speakers communicate their meaning through their tone of voice. Understanding intonation is a key to interpret the deeper meaning behind the words you hear.
Intonation is important because with it you can transmit your emotions that you are saying. So, if something is astonishing or frustrating, let it show in your voice.
It is important to master your English intonation if you want to sound like more natural and keep the listener focused on the content or on the sentence that you are saying.
Now, to continue with our explanation, I'm going to say three important techniques to take into account. First, get louder. You need to exaggerate a little bit your pronunciation. I like to go shopping. Second, stretch. In this case, you use more time to say the words. I like to go shopping. Finally, pitch. You make pauses and speak dramatically. I like to go shopping.
And finally, what I am going to do is that I am going to explain some of the application that we found on Google Play. You can download in on internet. The first one is Advanced Learners, that is of Cambridge. There you can like to understand how to pronounce the complete words. The other is the IPA pronunciation, that is in order to speak about the international phonetic alphabet, that you can like master your intonation but only with words. The difference is that with the first one you master like the pronunciation of the complete words, and the second one is that you like master the pronunciation of each one of the letters of the alphabet. Thank you so much. I hope you like this video, and please subscribe to our channel.
Okay, guys, thank you. That was really great. That was really good. So guys, there is another thing that I just remember, which I believe is also very important, and it is that when the one thing which is very important about presentations, like presentations, also like in real life, let's say, not just when we use videos, but something which is very important of this is that um, when you watch yourself, let's say that you make a presentation and somebody else records your presentation, and then you can see that that helps you to see other aspects of your English which are not always obvious, like for instance your body language. You see, so it's as we've said that it's very important to work on our pronunciation, to work on our intonation, because those two things are important when communicating. It's also very good to reflect on our body language. So I just remember that because when I played the video, Felipe said like, sorry for my hands, right? So that's what that's my point. It's like when he sees himself talking, he says like, whoa, this is something that perhaps distracts people, you see. So for instance, in my case, every time I watch a recording of myself presenting, I always find things that I need to work on. I always find things that I don't like. So that's why I believe these exercises are very interesting. If you just record yourself talking and then you watch the video and you say, I like this, I don't like this, you say, so it's also important. So it's, the pronunciation, the intonation, but also your body language. So that's why I believe this is very good. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We are going to continue with the next video, guys. There are some cases in which perhaps you may want to share a different link to the video or something. Just let me know as I present them here. So we present actually the video that you want. So we are going now to continue with Sophia. Okay, so Sophia, I don't know if you want to say something before we present your video. Well, perhaps Sophia doesn't want to say something because she's not here. So we're gonna just watch the video and that's it, okay?
Today we're gonna to know the importance of content and function words. Words that carry the most meaning in sentences such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Words that have very little meaning such as prepositions, articles, pronouns, and auxiliary verbs. They are important because they show us how to have a great intonation, and also it exists 3 ways to produce a correct intonation. The first one is get louder, and this one is the most famous, and this one is just raise the volume in some words. Example, he is interested in taking economics. Second, stretch. This one is just elongate the word. Example, he is interested in taking economics. Third one, pitch. This one is make pauses in sentences. This one includes drama. He is interested in taking economics. So practice some sentences. Please read this sentence without any stress in any word. He is interested in taking economics. Now read it again with any way to produce a correct intonation. He is interested in taking economics. Do you realize the difference between? Let's go practice some more examples. She wants to play better. His book was lost in the mail. Each one needs to sound like this. The first one sentences has this pattern, and the second one has this pattern. So now you know what is the different way to produce a correct intonation. So practice.
Well, that's a shame Sophia is not here, because that was a very interesting exercise. Something that I like that she presented, and perhaps we didn't talk about before, and I really like it, is, I don't know, where is it? Let me see. Well, there is a moment in which she talks about patterns. Like, look, that's actually a very nice exercise, because just presenting the pattern, it's a way to separate the sounds from the actual words, and somehow, like, being able to see the patterns is important also to understand how, you know, the music of the language goes. So that was something interesting she added there, and I actually really like it. Okay, guys, so let's see which is the next video. Well, I don't know, because I don't. So give me 1 second. Yeah. So the next one is Jose's. So Jose, I don't know if you want to say something before we present your video.
Yes, teacher. There are nowhere good illumination. No,
That's the only
so no, I don't know if te quedó bien o quedó mal, pero bueno.
Okay, so let's see. Let's watch it anyways.
Hello and welcome to my tutorial video about techniques of intonation. If you want to improve your accent, You need to work on your pronunciation and your intonation. Why pronunciation is so important? Pronunciation makes that people understand you and you can to understand them. Pronunciation gives fluency if you practice the correct phonetic vocabulary. Why intonation is so important? Intonation gives to the person to reveal what he wants to say. If the person wants to ask or to express any feeling or get any response. Intonation to understand the melody of the language, and we use the phonetic frequency to communicate what we mean. So, there are three techniques I share with you. The first one, look at yourself in a mirror. Look at yourself in a mirror and look at your mouth and tongue. Move it in an exaggerated way. After that, make 30 seconds in a soft mode, trying to don't move much your mouth and tongue. Make this 3 times in the day and you will see the difference. The second one, movements, postures and gestures. Because all our body must to work in a said objective to communicate what he want to say. There are people who want with his hands, talk with his hand, his face to get expression and you can to begin to practice. And the third one, to domain the subject to control the nerves. It's very much important to know the topic in deep because you can feel relaxed, making your movements, using your hands, looking face to the others, and to have verbal fluency without state afraid on your voice begin to shiver. So keep in mind, pronounce different sounds to familiarize it with the language. How to say words properly with basic rules. You can help yourself with music, reading, series, watching series, audiobooks, podcasts, and there are many tools to use. So that's it, and thank you very much for watching.
Okay, Jose, thank you very much. So I like the fact that Jose also included other ideas and other perhaps sort of tricks that we can use for improving. And thank you very much for mentioning something I also suggested before, and that has to do with the body language, you see. So part of the message that we have here is that it's not enough just to study grammar and pronunciation, but as we said, also intonation, but also to talk about body language, right? How we use our hands, our gestures, postures, that also affects the effectiveness of our communication. So there is no doubt that that's also important. So let's see who's next. I think it's on Drive. I think the next video is from Tatiana Spitia. So I think she was working alone. Yes. So Tatiana, we've got your video here. I don't know if you'd like to make any comment, if you would like to say something before we present it.
No, teacher.
No, just present it? Okay, let's do that.
Hello, my name is Tatiana Spitia. I'm going to talk about intonation. Okay? Intonation is about how we say things rather than what we say and how to speak with those certain varieties. We found 3 ways and we show you to make intonation to speak better. The first one is get louder, so you raise the volume to get louder, your intonation. That's one ways you can do it to get it louder. So for instance, I have these sentences. Dele is the best singer ever. Use I will these are to connect words and I will raise the volume on this content. We can exaggerate it even make this effort and even with my face expression and everything. The second technique, which is to stretch the words. It is said that it may be little more powerful than the first. Is to make words a little bit longer. This phrase, okay, and we want to emphasize this phrase. For example, pizza is the best food ever. The pizza is best food ever. His phrase is best food is a little bit longer. The second technique, which is to stress the words and they adjust slow down. I take more time for these two words anyway, make the other person focus on those two words. And the third one is the pitch. This is a technique a lot of people use a track more the other. For example, these are the best shoes of my life. Say so this little microsecond you're taking there makes a lot of emphasis has to do with rhythm. How we make certain process pitch is one of the key elements that you need in order to emphasize a syllable with word stress.
Okay, Tatiana, thank you very much. So something I also been reflecting about all the videos and everything that you guys have presented is it's how it's becoming more and more important to know how to do these things, right? I mean, creating digital content. This is something that perhaps some years ago was not that important, but now you guys have to do it all the time. I mean, this is something that has happened this year a lot. So you guys need to know how to create these things, how to use different software, and how to use transitions and everything. So I believe that that's also part of the added value of these kinds of exercises, as you can see, that you can, or that you have actually, to use other things. So let's see what's the video that you guys share here. No. Okay, guys, we got a problem. We got a technical issue. I wanted to present Joritza and Linda's, but the link that you posted on your homework was a link of the class that we had. And I believe, well, it certainly makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, Joritza and Linda, if you have the link there, because you share a wrong link. You see, because look, when I copy paste the link, this is what we get. It's a link to our class. So,
yes, teacher.
So where is the link?
Ahí por el chat, Linda me compartió el link de YouTube. Entonces lo puedes abrir de pronto desde el chat.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so I don't know if Linda or Joritza would like to say something about it, or shall we just present it?
Just I hope you really like it, and we did our best. Just that.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, what is intonation? Intonation is not just the way that you speak about a topic or you use the grammar or the vocabulary to speak about that. It's more than that. It's the way that you express your feelings with the right intonation, and also it can help you to be fluent in English and to convey the right meaning of the words that you express. Now you know what is intonation. We are going to say what are the intonation patterns. So the number one is rise, the second one is fall, and the third one is partial fall. Now you already know what is intonation and intonation patterns. We are going to say some sentences about the right intonation in every sentence. So pay attention. Okay, the first example is who got a dog? Who got a dog? Remember the main word in this sentence is dog. So the intonation is in dog. Okay, the first example is who got a dog? Who got a dog? Remember the main word in this sentence is dog. So the intonation goes in dog. One more time, who got a dog?
Okay, guys, I'm going to talk about the accent. The accent is not random, it follows certain parameters with many exceptions. The accent is usually on the first syllable on most noun and bisyllabic adjectives. Example, basic, program, in words that have prefix and or suffix. The accent goes on the main root word depending on the accented syllable, depending on the type of prefix or suffix applied. For example, boxes, untie. Okay, guys, when a word has more than one syllable, one of them is pronounced a little louder than the others. The syllable with the strongest vocal tension in the stressed syllable. The accent always goes in the cold main vowel. Semantic representation is, for example, rough verb. That is mean teeth, and teeth have two syllables.
Okay, thank you guys. So there is something we need there is something we need to double check here, and it's the word accent. So we said that accent doesn't refer to the acento in a word, but in that case we need to refer to the stress. So what you guys were describing as accent is rather the stress. So do not forget that. So it's the stress and how we stress certain words. So that's something very important to keep in mind, because as I said before, this is something that we sometimes tend to get a little bit confused with. So thank you guys. Let's continue with the next one. So let me see. Okay, so let me see, because I believe that somebody shares something here. Okay, so John. Okay, give me 1 second. So this is John's video, John Gonzalez. So John, I'd like to know if you would like to say something before we present your video.
Yes, teacher. I really enjoy doing video. So I hope that you enjoy it too.
Great, excellent. So let's see it.
Hello guys, welcome to this new video. Today I will give you some information that can be very useful for improving your accent. So let's start with this question. What is intonation? Well guys, when we talk about intonation we have the melodic patterns. Also, the intonation is a matter of variation in the pitch level of the voice. Intonation involves the stress and rhythm. Why is intonation important? Well, the intonation is very important because with intonation we can transmit different expressive meanings. For instance, we can express emotions like happiness, surprise, angry, and sadness. However, the intonation also very important because other people can understand us better when we have a very good intonation. Guys, now I will give you 3 techniques that can be very useful for improving our intonation. So, the first is get louder. Here we have to raise the volume of the words. What can be a very good example for this? Messi is the best player in the world. It's a very good example. Here we write the volume in 2 words. The first is Messi and the second is best. Messi is the best player in the world. Now, let's see the second technique. The second technique is stretch. What it means? Here we have to lengthen the word. One example can be the next. I watched the match because I love football. In this sentence, I make longer the word love. Now, let's see the last technique, that is the third. Let's see. The third technique is called pitch. Here, we have to make pauses in the sentence. Well, guys, one example could be I play the guitar because I love music. It's a very good example. Here we have the pause after the word because. However, I have to say that the pause can be before or after the word because. Well guys, I hope that the video and the information will be very useful for you. And remember that you have to practice a lot for improving your abilities. And see you in the next video.
Wow, that was just fantastic. Let me tell you that. That was a really good video. I really love this, all this editing techniques and everything. That was just lovely. So, well, there are lots of different things to mention about it. So before, the opportunity of watching yourself talking, it gives you, as I said at the beginning, it gives you material to analyze the way you communicate. That's super important. Also, if you listen very carefully, in those moments, yes, I agree with Maria Alejandra. So when in the moments in which you were speaking, not in front of a camera, but off the camera, your intonation changed a little bit. So because you had a chance to focus a little bit more, so you had a chance to experiment with different patterns and everything. So that's also a very interesting thing to mention. So yeah, absolutely. That was very nice, John. Very nice, John. Thank you very much for that. So let's see who's next. So we are going to continue with Tania, Santiago, and Brian. So let me just play the video over here. Okay, guys. So I'd like to know if you have any comment, any whatever you want to say before. Santiago, Tania, Brian. No?
No, just...
No? Just play it? Okay, let's watch it.
Hi guys! This is Tania.
This is Brian.
And this is Santiago. So we are going to teach you how to improve your pronunciation and intonation
in a simple steps.
So let's get into it.
First of all, we are going to talk about intonation. So basically, what's intonation? So intonation is the sound changes produced by the fall and the rise of your voice when you are speaking. So especially this happens when this has an effect on the meaning of what you are saying. Okay, so basically intonation is the melody of your voice and is how you produce your voice and how this can affect in the meaning of the words.
So now guys, keep in mind that it's pretty important to know about intonation because it has an attitudinal or emotional function, which means that it transmits more information or additional information about the speaker's mood or maybe feelings, emotions, or attitude. Also, keep in mind, it's pretty important too, that intonation not only gives English its rhythm, because it also helps you in understanding what a person is saying and how to speak pretty well.
Now, when we talk about pronunciation, we have to remember that is the way the words are pronounced. And the importance is to articulate well the movements of the mouth in order to make your speech understandable.
So we are going to focus on intonation, and we are going to see 3 of the most important techniques to improve your intonation and to improve your speaking. So let's do it.
So guys, we are going to start with the first technique, that is get louder.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So the idea here is to raise the volume of your voice when you are talking, but in some specific words. So let's start.
So let's practice.
The first example is, he reads a new book.
The second example is, the teacher David likes to talk about the weather.
And the third example is, we enjoy sleeping every time in Santiago's house.
So the second technique is a stretch.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
Basically, in this technique, you have to make some words longer when you are talking. For example,
okay, so practice with us.
The first example is, he reads a new book.
The second example is, the teacher David likes to talk about the weather.
And the third example is, we enjoy sleeping every time in Santiago's house.
So basically, the third technique is pitch, and is when you sing.
Mentiris. And finally, the third technique is pitch. And in this technique, you just have to make some pauses between words in order to sound better. Try to sound dramatic. He was wrong. So let's see some examples.
So repeat after us. He reads a new book.
The second example, the teacher David likes to talk about the weather.
And the third example, we enjoy sleeping every time in Santiago's house.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you so much, guys.
So remember, say no to violence.
No importa, claro, con su celular.
Now, when we... Get into it.
So guys, the idea here no es...
In order to, you know.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, guys, that was just fantastic. I can't believe it, guys. You guys did a great job there. Although I feel now like an old man because it's like, you know, I'm the guy who talks about the weather. But anyways, that was a really good job. It was really, really, really cool. And I also, apart from the content, and I mean, there are two things that I like to highlight. First, it's the plot itself, you know, the organization of the video, because when we do this kind of materials, it's not just about explaining something, but also about almost like telling a story. So in this case, you can see that there is a plot, there is a story, there is a series of events also that happened at the same time. So that's something to say. But also the way you presented the examples is like it was very clear how the three different techniques work. So all these different elements that you use were very good regarding that. So I really like it. It was a really, really, really good job. Thank you very much, guys. So let's see who's next. So the next video is Johannes and Ashley's. So guys, I'd like to know if you would like to make any comment, if you'd like to say something before we present it. No? Well.
The edit about the video, it was very, very hard.
I know. It takes, even if it's short videos, that takes some time. So we know, because there are lots of different elements that you guys like to add and everything. So yes, that's something that takes some time. I think I'll think about a way in which we can share the links. So if you guys want to watch the videos later, because the thing is that as I am presenting my screen, I know that the image is not as good as it's actually. So yeah, that's only one thing to say.
Hi, my name is Ashley.
My name is Johanet Martinez. In this video, we will show you how to improve your intonation, your pronunciation, and your accent. But first, what is pronunciation? Pronunciation refers to the way that we make the sound of the word. To pronounce word, we push air from our lungs up through our throat and vocal cords, through our mouth, past our tongue, and out between our teeth and our lips. And sometimes the air travels through our nose. When we speak a foreign language, our muscles may not be well developed. For that reason, we will find more difficult the pronunciation. By practicing the foreign language pronunciation, our muscles develop and pronunciation improve.
What is intonation? Intonation is the variation of the tone of your voice when speaking. The intonation can be ascending and descending. The notes in your voice are called pitch, and the change in pitch is called intonation. So when you learn English, you don't only have to learn what to say, but also how to say it. As you speak, you can increase or decrease the pitch of your voice, put more emphasis on certain parts, and speak in lower or higher pitch. I will try to give you an example. The words in pink represent the emphasis.
The first one in pronunciation is speaking slowly. Will give you time to think about what you're saying and how are you saying it. It will also make you feel more relaxed. It's always a good idea to exaggerate your sounds at the beginning. Pay special attention to the words you have trouble pronouncing. The second tip in pronunciation is practice saying tongue twister. A tongue twister is a phrase that it's difficult to pronounce because it is made up of many similar sounds. The third tip of pronunciation is practice difficult sounds and break down words into syllables. Start practicing difficult sounds in front of the mirror by first learning where to place your tongue and how to shape your mouth. If you are pronouncing a difficult word, note just a sound, it helps to break down that word into syllables and say each of them slowly.
I will give you 3 tips to improve your accent. First, read poetry in English. Reading poetry aloud is one of the best ways to detect which sound, rhyme, and stick with the pronunciation of the words you use most frequently. The second is imitate your favorite accent. It can be British or American. Choose one you prefer, watch series or native YouTuber and try to imitate their way of speaking. You can also look the musicality and the hits of the voice. And the last tip is record yourself and listen. Even if we don't like the sound of your own recorded voice, recording yourself is the best way to detect mistakes and polish your accent. If you have a native friend who can correct you, it's much better. 3 ways to improve your intonation. The first is get louder. In this, we must raise the volume. For example, the hamburger is the best fast food.
The second is stretch. Lengthen the word. It's when you stretch something, in this case, the word. And the example we have, the pizza has several toppings.
The other example is French fries and soda are the perfect combination.
The third is pitch, is to make pauses, is to give more drama or capture the attention of the people that you are talking. In this case, we have this example. This hot dog has been the worst that I've eaten.
Okay, guys, thank you very much indeed. So, guys, I really love. Oh my God, I really love the examples that you gave. I mean, not the examples. I'm sorry, but the tips. This is something we definitely should do, guys. Take notes of this. I mean, all these tips they gave are tips which are very effective. These three, I really like these three tips to improve the accent. This is something you should absolutely do. And that's something I've done myself several times. So as for instance, it is good to watch videos of yourself talking. Also, if you can record yourself and listen to yourself, it's also very good. And as they said, if you have native speakers, friends, who can help you with that, that's gonna also be super useful. So these tips are really good. I really like them. Thank you guys very much for sharing these tips, because that's absolutely something that works a lot. And well, of course, the video in general was very nice. I love it. So guys, thank you. Let's see who is next, because we are running out of time. So we need to run a little bit faster. So let's see. What's the next video? So I think the next one is Tatiana Obando. That's the next video. So let's watch it. Let's see what we got here.
Guys, usually when we communicate in English, we think we do excellent. But when you get to a country where they speak these languages, you realize that you don't understand anything about what happens, or you can't make social lives precisely because you don't understand anything like that. So today we will talk about two very important elements to make that when you go to Vegas or Miami, you don't get lost from what happens around you. Hello everyone. So first we have to know what is intonation and pronunciation and what is important when we speak. So intonation is how native speakers communicate their meaning through their tone of voice. Understanding intonation is keys to the interpreting deeper meaning behind the words you hear. We communicate additional meaning through the rise and fall of our speech, and by stressing or emphasizing certain words in the sentence. Intonation provides additional information to your listener and performs various linguistic functions. And pronunciation is the way a word or language is spoken. This may refer generally agreed sequences of sounds used to speak a particular word or a language in a specific dialect. So, and now I talk what is important intonation when we speak in English. Intonation is important in spoken English because it conveys meaning in many ways. Changing the pitch in your voice, making it higher or lower, allows to show surprise. Oh, really? Or boredom. Oh, really?
very much. It was also a very nice video. I believe this definitely a very good opportunity for us to play with all these different elements in communication. And just the fact that you can play with your intonation, doing the video itself, your body language, and how you explore this, expressive capacity. That's also very, very important. So that's why I believe these kinds of exercises are very useful, because they gave us they give us this chance to to explore that and practice. So that was certainly very nice. Let me see, because we're running out of time and I have a meeting in 10 minutes. Oh my God. So let's see if we got to do that. So we're gonna watch the next video, which is Linus. That's the next video to watch. Do not worry if we don't have enough time to watch them all today. We're gonna continue tomorrow, so we're gonna watch every single video. Let's see.
Hello everyone, my name is Lina Rodriguez and today we are going to talk about how can improve your intonation. But first we have to know what intonation is, what pronunciation is, and what is the difference between them. Watch the following video and let's learn together. So, pronunciation is the way in which a word is pronounced. It's about how can pronounce words and learning certain sounds. Other characteristics of pronunciation include stress, rhythm, connected speech, and accent. But instead, intonation is about how we say something rather than what we say. It's related with how the voice rises and falls in speech. So, intonation could be described as the music of speech. And why is intonation important? When we speak, we don't speak word by word. We connect the speech and the way of telling ideas. Has it happened to you that you speak to another person and he or she doesn't understand you the message? Are you giving information in a statement or are you asking them? You have to take account the intonation pattern when you are speaking, because the other person may not be sure if you are asking them a question or telling them what you think. So your intonation is very important when you are speaking or having a conversation with someone else, because a change or variation in this music of your voice or pitch can affect the meaning of what we say. Can you improve your intonation? I'm going to give you super powerful techniques in order to improve your intonation. The first one is get louder. With this technique, you have to raise the volume of your voice for the more important words in the message that you want to say. So, in this example, Falcao is the name of the person you want to refer, and best is the adjective that you want to highlight about him. You have to express that idea in your message with a good intonation, like this. Falcao is the best soccer player. The second technique is stretched. With this technique, you have to lengthen the word or words that are more important in your message. For example, English is my favorite subject at school. Last one technique is pitch. With this technique, you have to add like a mysterious or drama intonation in your message, because making pauses will give more importance to what you are going to say and also will attract the attention of the listener. Let's see an example. The most important thing here is that I love you.
Wow, Lina, excellent, great, thank you very much. So that was a very nice explanatory video, I would say. Once again, it's not just about the tips and the examples to give, but also the way you present the information was was really good. And that, well, most of the comments that I've made so far applied also to this video as you know, I believe it's a very interesting experiment, not just for you know, it's not just a homework and that's it, but it's also an experiment on all these different elements of the communication itself. So I believe this is very useful as well. So guys, let me see. So Daniela Rodriguez, that's the next video. Let's see. So I think we'll be able to watch at least 2 videos more and then we finish. So let's see, guys.
Hello guys, my name is Alejandra and my partner is Daniela.
We are going to talk about intonation. Intonation describes how the voice rises and falls in a speech. Speaking and understanding English doesn't just come from using correct grammar and vocabulary. Native English speakers convey meaning in their sentences with pitch. The ups and downs and the musical notes of their sentences. For example, the following 2 sentences contain the same words, but is there a difference in their meanings?
She got a dog.
She got a dog?
In these 2 simple sentences, the focus word of the sentence, the word that gets the most emphasis is dog.
But what happened with the sound of the focus word? In sentence 1, the intonation went down to indicate the completion of the thought. She got a dog. In sentence 2, the intonation went way up to indicate surprise. She got a dog? The patterns of ups and downs of your voice on and after the focus word, which is usually at the end of the sentence or question, is called intonation. In English, we have 3 intonation patterns: a rise, a fall, and a partial fall.
Now we are going to listen some examples. First, with fall, we have I got a dog. An example of rise, we have your dog speaks English.
My dog is smart, pretty, and sweet.
So remember, speaking English isn't only about a correct grammar and vocabulary. You must change your pitch, the ups and downs, and the musical notes of your voice to convey proper meaning, emotion, and expression.
Great, guys. Thank you very much. Something I like a lot about this video is it's how actually you can summarize all the content, and which is also something very important. So imagine if you guys created a video like that about this topic, you know, and the video is like 10 minutes long or something, that would be just impossible to watch. So that's why it's super important to actually, you know, create this kinds of content with appropriate length and also with the appropriate information. So that's something which takes some effort. So guys, I think we just ran out of time. So we are missing like 2 or 3 videos more. So tomorrow we're gonna start with those videos that we couldn't watch today. Okay, that's gonna be the very first thing we do tomorrow. So no worries, we're gonna watch that. Okay, and now I need to give me 1 second. What's the right one? Okay, we're going to, as I said, we're going to just call the attendance. And then guys, we are good to go. So give me 1 second as we need to do that really quick. Once again, guys, thank you very much for sharing your materials, for sharing this magnificent work that you guys did. That was really cool. I really liked the job you guys did. It was very nice and entertaining also. So let's see. Brian Aguilera?
Yes, teacher.
John Barrera? No. Ana María Buendía?
Here, teacher.
Andrés Felipe Bueno? Sofía Carvajal? Hello, guys. Sophia, isn't she? Oh, no, she's not here. I just remembered that. Jose Diaz? Jose, are you still here?
Yes, teacher.
Tatiana Spitia?
I'm here, teacher.
Yaritza Garcia?
Here, teacher.
Tania Gomez?
Here, teacher.
John Gonzalez?
Here, teacher.
Santiago Hernandez?
Here, teacher.
Ashley Huesa?
Here, teacher.
Linda Lopez?
Here,
Johanet Martinez?
Present.
Clara Monroy?
Present, teacher.
Tatiana Bando?
Present.
Ana María Ortiz?
Present.
Dylan Páez?
Present, teacher.
Juan Esteban Páramo?
Present, teacher.
Estefanía Portugués?
Present, teacher.
Lina Rodríguez?
Present, teacher.
Daniela Rodríguez?
Present, teacher.
Carlos Rojas?
Present, teacher.
María Alejandra Triana?
I'm here.
And Alejandra Velandia.
Me, teacher.
Okay. Okay, guys. So as I said, we're gonna watch the videos that we are missing tomorrow. So we finish with that activity tomorrow. And we're gonna be working again on the Right to be Read book. We're gonna be working on that again. So guys, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your magnificent, lovely work. And I'll see you tomorrow.
See you, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher. Have a good day.